Okay, everybody, we're gonna get started. Thank you all for coming tonight. I appreciate it, and hopefully you'll find this informative. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Monique Cardenas. I'm one of the counselors here at De La Salle. More specifically, handling students with the alphabet last name M through Z. But another one of the big roles that I do here at the school is college and career readiness. So I've worked with a lot of the senior boys and helping them apply and helping them work through Common App and answering any questions that they have. But a really, really big part or step two is completing the financial aid form, the FAFSA, which is kind of what we're going to walk through. And I'm hoping that you find this informative, and I'd like it to be interactive. And please, at any time, you can interrupt and ask any questions that you have, but we're going to save some time at the end to do that as well. Before we kind of get into it, I want to introduce Victoria Sparks. Um, she is an admissions recruiter from Ferris State University, who she was just on our campus last week, talking to a lot of the boys too. I think we have a few that have actually applied to Ferris State. So I'm excited and happy to have her here with us today. She has a lot of knowledge and expertise in this area, so she'll be able to help with some questions as well. Okay, so to kind of it's not advancing. Okay. To kind of start, when you first log into or try, first of all, let me start. They've streamlined this financial aid process tremendously. Way back when I was applying to college, you need to have your W-2s right next to you and you're filling in lines and you're putting in numbers. That's really not the case anymore. Okay. Um, your first step to do, you're going to log on to the federal aid website, studentaid.gov. And to start off, you need to create an account. But the process, and Victoria, correct me if I'm wrong, the process really needs to start with your student. Okay. So
Yes.
you need to
Oh,
go ahead, Victoria.
before I worked for Ferris, I was a college advisor for 2 years over at John Glenn High School in Westland. So I've helped several seniors with their FAFSAs, and I will say it is easier to start it with the student than with the parent because ultimately that student's going to eventually move out and be handling this stuff on their own. So it's easier if they have everything from the get-go. When your students creating their account, they're going to need a phone number that's personal to them, a personal email address. Lots of students will automatically try and use their high school email address. And the issue with that is that eventually that email address is going to get deleted and they need it to be able to log in. And
Right.
then also they'll need their social security number, and the process takes like 10 minutes.
It does. Thank you. Yeah, and once you log on to the federal aid site, you notice I've highlighted in the right-hand corner, it's going to be create an account. Okay. So once you click on create an account, you're really going to go through a 7-step process. I'm going to show you this quick. It's a really short YouTube video, but it walks through every step of this 7-step process. So hopefully when I click on it, it's going to do what I want it to do. Are you guys seeing the video? Yeah.
I'm not seeing a video.
Perhaps you're a student, parent, or loan borrower who needs to
I'm
apply
hearing
for
a video,
financial
but not
aid,
seeing it.
electronically sign.
I'm sorry?
Um, I'm hearing the video, but I'm not seeing it. And I'm
Are
not
you
sure if
guys just hearing it or seeing it?
I'm
Nope,
hearing it.
We're just
Mm.
hearing it.
just hearing
Oh,
it,
all right, hold on. Let
not
me see.
seeing it.
Okay, hold on. Mhm. Let me see if I can get it back. Okay, can you guys see the screen now?
Seeing a, oh, yep, there we go.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, let me start it over. It's really short.
Perhaps you're a student, parent, or loan borrower who needs to apply for financial aid, electronically sign your FAFSA form, or access other benefits on studentaid.gov. To take full advantage of all our resources and log into studentaid.gov, you'll have to first create an FSA ID. Your FSA ID gives you access to Federal Student Aid's platform and can serve as your legal signature. Your FSA ID is your account username and password. To prepare to create your FSA ID, have your Social Security number, mobile phone, and/or your personal email address handy. To start, navigate to studentaid.gov and select Create Account. Once you're on the Create Account page, select the Get Started button. If you are completing a FAFSA form and are considered a dependent student, keep in mind that you will need to create your own separate FSA ID using your own personal information. A mobile phone number, email address, and Social Security number can be associated with only one FSA ID. For helpful tips throughout the FSA ID creation process, select the question mark icons that display next to each field. Next, you'll create your username, enter an email address, and create your password. We recommend not using your school-based email address, since you will need to access your federal student aid account after you graduate. Make sure you don't include private information, such as your name or date of birth, as part of your password.
That's sure.
Quick tip. Remember, an email address can be associated with only one username and password. Next, enter your permanent address and mobile phone number. Indicate if you want to use your mobile phone for account access. We highly recommend this option, as it allows you to use your mobile for two-step verification and will help you access your account if you forget your username or password in the future. After selecting Continue, you'll be prompted to choose your communications preferences. On the Communications Preferences screen, select if you'd like to receive required communications from us via email or by postal mail. We recommend email. Besides the required communications, we'll occasionally send you informational communications about grants, student loan forgiveness, or income-based repayment plans you may qualify for. You can opt to receive these by email, text message, or both, or choose not to receive informational communications. You'll also have the option to select English or Spanish as your preferred language for the communications we send you. Next, you'll select 4 challenge questions and answers. Memorize or keep these answers in a safe place in case you need them to help access your account in the future. Choose a question using the drop-down and add your answer in the text box. Select Show Answer to see your answer as you type it. Your answers are not case-sensitive. You're almost there. On this step, you can review your
Can we pause the
information
video
and
real
confirm
quick?
everything looks correct. If you need to make a
I just want to address something about the challenge questions real quick. So if there is a scenario where you or your student's locked out of your FSA ID, there will be a couple different options how you can recover it. You could get a code sent to your email or through text message, or you can answer the challenge questions. Try doing the email or text message first, because the challenge questions will always give you a 30-minute lockout first before they'll let you back into your account. All right, you can go on.
Your correction. Select the Edit button within that tile of information. After ensuring your information is correct, review and agree to the terms and conditions at the bottom of the screen. Now you'll add two-step verification to safeguard your account. Whenever you sign in, we'll send a secure code to make sure it's really you. You can choose whether you prefer email, text message, or an authenticator app. We'll begin with your phone number. Select the Verify button under SMS verification. You will automatically be sent a 6-digit secure code. At the same time, a pop-up window will open. Enter the code and select the Continue button. You'll see a green verified icon appear that tells you you're successful. Next, verify your email address. Select the Verify button. You will automatically be sent a 6-digit secure code. At the same time, a pop-up window will open. Enter the code and select the Continue button. You'll see the same verified icon, confirming that you verified your email. You'll also see a green box confirming that your two-step verification is ready to go. We also suggest setting up an authenticator app, which provides the most security of the two-step verification methods. Select Set up an authenticator app. A pop-up window will open. Follow the steps you see there. First, download an authenticator app from the mobile app store or use one you've already downloaded. Next, you can either scan the QR code with your authenticator app or copy the key into your authenticator app. Then select Continue. Another pop-up window will appear. Enter the secure code generated by your authenticator app and select the Finish button. You've done it. Two-step verification is enabled. But what if you're in a situation where you can't use the other two-step verification methods? Don't lose heart. You can use a backup code. Your backup code is generated automatically when you enable two-step verification. Store your code in a safe place until you need it. Congratulations, you've successfully created your FSA ID. If you entered an email address, you will receive a confirmation email. Make sure you note your username and password and keep them in a safe place. You can begin using your account immediately, but it will take 1 to 3 days for your information to be verified by the Social Security Administration. Some of your actions in the site will be limited until your information is verified. However, with your newly created FSA ID, you can immediately complete and sign a first-time FAFSA form. You can also use your FSA ID to access your dashboard, review your loan balance, and explore additional dashboard features. You are now able to take control of your federal student aid journey and access all studentaid.gov has to offer.
Okay. Does anybody, before we kind of keep moving forward, does anybody have any questions on setting up? Now, this first process, as Victoria had indicated, your sons are the ones that will start the process. They will be the ones to create the ID first and start the financial aid process. And in a few minutes, we're going to go through. I found a prototype of what the form actually looks like, so we're going to walk through every step. And then your guys' part will come in as the contributors. Victoria, anything you wanted to add?
Nope, let's just get right to the form. Probably
Okay.
easiest way to do it.
Yes. So let me share my screen again. Hold on a second. Okay. Is everybody seeing this form?
Seeing the slide.
Okay. Okay, that should be better. Is everybody seeing this form? Victoria, do you see this?
Yep.
Okay, so once you guys log on, once your sons create their account, again, these are all fictitious people. Um, your sons are gonna log in. They're gonna, from the password that they just created, and you're gonna hit login. Okay, and from this page, you're gonna hit start a new form 2026-27. Okay, so once you click that, the first couple of pages, it's pretty simple. They're starting, remember, they're gonna start this process. So they're gonna be they're gonna hit student and then again hit continue. Okay. All of these videos that you're gonna see on this thing, I have attached onto the slide, and we'll send that out to you guys. So I don't really feel there's any need to watch those now. I'd rather walk through and go step by step. Okay. So going through, we're going to talk about what a contributor is. And as a parent, I feel like I've been a contributor since the day they've been born. But a contributor is going to be the person or the parent or parents that they invite to be the contributor for them on the form. If the student's parents are married and filed taxes jointly, only one of the two parents need to be invited as the contributor. Okay. If the parents are not married, the parent that and Victoria, correct me if I'm wrong, the parent that provides the financial support for the student would be the one that would be added as the contributor.
Yes, and there is actually a section on the FAFSA website where if a student is unsure of which parent to invite to the form, they're able to put in what information they have, and then this tool will help them determine which parent to invite. I'll go and search for that so that way I can link it in the chat.
And please, if anyone has any questions, please stop us, okay? This process, probably in total with your part and your son's part, really takes under an hour to complete. Even if that, I think that's a little bit of a stretch too, but it's a very, very streamlined process. So after you go through all the videos and you watch them, you're actually going to start the FAFSA form, okay? And a lot of this information is the information that was previously provided when you were creating your account. So you're basically just looking through and going to make sure the information that is displaying on the screen is correct. If it is, you're going to keep forward and going. And again, these are all fictitious cities and states and stuff. So bear with me. So it's going to say, how long has you been a resident of New York? Well, it's actually been since the day they were born, right? So 2007, I think most of them were born. So you're going to hit continue. Okay. Um, and again, this is just going to be disclosures. Again, by accepting below, you're consenting in all of that. It's just normal standard lingo that you're going to consent for all the approvals and the required conditions in your eligibility for financial aid. Again, there's a series of questions. Who should provide consent? These are all scroll downs that you could go. Here's if you're married and didn't file joint tax returns with your current spouse. Does my spouse have to provide current consents for the tax information? So it's going to walk you through a series of questions that you can go through in terms of questions that might need to be asked. Okay. So basically, after you read all of that stuff, you need to approve this. And then once you approve it, it's going to securely import the information. And it's going to verify that your information was confirmed by the IRS, and then we can continue on to answer like the financial section, and we can proceed forward. Victoria, anything to add?
I would just say that if you've had students in the past that you filed a FAFSA with and you've ran into trouble with the IRS data retrieval tool before, back when they redid the FAFSA a couple years back, this was the top of their priority list to get fixed, and it goes a lot more smoothly now. Very rarely do we have cases where parents have to go pull their taxes and manually put in their information.
Right. Anybody have any questions so far? Okay, keep going. Now they're saying they're going to ask you questions to help determine your eligibility for aid. And this information can affect what types of federal aid you're eligible to receive. So we're going to keep going forward. Now it's going to, under personal circumstances, it's going to ask your sons questions. Obviously they're single, never married. Going to continue. When they enter the 26-27 school year, they're going to be first year freshmen. Okay. And when the school begins the 26-27 year, will they already have their first bachelor's degree? Obviously, the answer is no. And then you hit continue. Under the personal circumstances, most of all of our students, none of these apply, or some might. I'm sorry, it's the next session, but a lot of these things aren't going to be applicable to your sons. So usually this answer is going to be none of these apply. Student homelessness, they ask anytime after July 1st, was the student homeless or unaccompanied? And again, 9 times out of 10, this answer will be no. Unusual circumstances, again, you'll have to read through the bulleted points. If any of those pertain to you, or your son, you would respond accordingly. But again, most times this answer is no.
If the answer to that question does end up being yes, the form will be pulled and the student will be required to submit additional documentation.
Right, thank you, yeah. Okay, so direct unsubsidized loan only. Are the students' parents refusing to provide their information on this FAFSA form? The response must be no for the student to be considered for the federal Pell Grant eligibility and most other types of student aid. Okay, again, most answer is no. Okay, now they're going to lead into more, and this is exactly the form you're going to see when you log on to do the aid. So we're going to continue with student demographics. They're going to ask student they're males, and then again your ethnicity. If you can pick if whatever is applicable to you, and then if you or you can also prefer not to answer, and then you continue. Obviously, you all U.S. citizens.
Yeah. Oh, and it was put a couple questions back, but this answering these questions does not affect the student's aid eligibility at all.
Yes,
This was done
right,
purely for research.
correct. And then again, the parents' educational status, one or both completed. And I'm going to make you all laugh. They don't know what you guys do for a living. So, and they don't even know if you guys have gone to college, which is we do get a chuckle out of it when I meet with them. So maybe when you're setting it up, if you guys are doing it together, that might be helpful as well.
I want to pause there real quick. So when it says completed college or attended college, I do want to point out that they don't just mean, oh, I went to a 4-year school. It also includes any academic credits earned or certificates, degrees of any kind. So this could also be from a community college or a trade school or a cosmetology academy.
Mhm. If any parent was killed in the line of duty, serving active duty as a member of the U.S. Armed Forces on or after the events of 9/11, or performing official duties as a public safety officer. Again, answering accordingly to your situation. What will the students' high school completion status be as of 26-27? They will all have high school diplomas. Again, this won't let me populate De La Salle, but again, you would type in the state, and then a city, and then it'll again pick. Once you put in Michigan, you put in Warren, De La Salle Collegiate will populate, um, and then you once you hit the search bar, you'll find De La Salle Collegiate and Warren. You click it, and then you continue. Okay, and it's going to confirm your high school. You're going to make sure it says De La Salle in Warren and in the state of Michigan. Okay, and then again, we're moving forward and hitting continue. Now it's going to talk about, and this is where the boys really do need your help because it's going to talk about any types of finances that they have. So this is helpful if you're with them when they're doing it. Again, and this is in regards to the students, refer to the students' 2024 tax return to answer the following questions. I know some of them didn't file a tax return, so Victoria, I'm assuming we just put 0 for these.
Yep.
Okay. So if they did file a tax return, you may have to take a glimpse at that and see if any of these apply. But if they have not, you're entering zeros here. Amount of college grant scholarships, AmeriCorps benefits reported to the IRS. Again, for them, this is usually going to be a 0. No foreign earned income, again, a 0. So for them, this is a pretty simple process. And then this is where, again, they get a little bit confused and they're not so sure. And sometimes we'll stop, especially when we get to the financials, because they'll really complete this part with you guys. A total number of cash savings and anything that they have in their checking account. Um, again, if you want, I'm just, again, putting a random number, right?
And when they say current, I would have a student just double check this question. Like a lot of people get this submitted all in one session, but sometimes people will go and do it in bits and come back later. When they say current total, make sure it's the total, the literal day that they're filing.
Yes. It's that current date, like the day you're doing it. Okay.
But
Um, I-
none of those kids would have retirement accounts, right? Not
right,
normally.
right.
Or probably not investments. So is it really just basically if they have a part-time job, they got some money in a bank account?
Yes,
Yeah.
It's
exactly.
not it's not the parents' investments or
Not yet.
retirement accounts,
Nope.
correct?
This is the student assets.
This is student. Yours are going to come
Okay.
into play in step 2 when we talk about the contributor.
Okay.
Again, they don't really have any investments or real estate, so that's going to be a 0. Net worth of business and investment farms, again, a 0. And then we'll continue. So now when you get to this list, you can select up to 20 schools um, that you can put on this list that you want the FAFSA form sent to. Okay. Um, Again, it's not going to let us really do a lot of the Michigan schools, but you would put in Michigan if it's a Michigan school, right? Um, Optional, again, like Amherst, right? And then all of these other colleges are going to appear, and you're simply going to select them. And again, you're going to select the ones your sons are applying to. And I think Victoria, again, correct me if I'm wrong, you're going to want to put the Michigan schools first, right?
So I would say order does matter. Students' first choice should go in number 1. Students' number 2 choice should go in number 2. And I will say if it ends up working out that your student hasn't finished applying to all the schools they want to apply to, but they have time to get their FAFSA done, so they're doing that before they finish applying to all those schools, still put schools on that list that they are planning on applying to but haven't applied to yet, because after you submit the form, going back in and editing it to add more schools on there becomes a lot more difficult.
Right. And again, it's easier. I found it easier to search for the schools by state. But if you do have or could Google what the FAFSA school code is, you could enter, you know what I'm saying? You could enter a federal school code that way, and then the school will pop up. Or you can search by state. So once you've picked all of your schools, you will then move forward and hit continue. And then all of your schools are going to list all of the ones that they selected. Okay. And then you can click, it'll give you information on the school. Do you know what I mean? It'll show you what their federal code is, where they're located, in-state tuition, out-of-state tuition, and all of that stuff.
I
And
have
then
a
again,
question.
yes.
Okay, so ideally you should apply to the school before you do your FAFSA. I was always told that do FAFSA first before you do anything else.
Um, that's why I mentioned earlier, if it's easier for them to get the FAFSA done now, but they haven't finished applying to schools, still list every school that they plan on applying to, because doing the FAFSA takes like half an hour nowadays. Applying to schools can take a lot longer. Point is, by the time that student applies to that school, they'll already have their FAFSA information. So along with being sent back their decision status, they'll also get their financial aid offer letter a lot sooner too.
Okay, thank you.
Good. Any other questions? That was a good one. Okay, let's keep going forward.
Yeah, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
What if you've already applied like early admission?
Go ahead and still list that school.
Okay. Does it hurt that you haven't filled out the FAFSA?
No, just
Okay.
the school's waiting on that FAFSA to be, because if you applied early admission, maybe you've noticed that your student hasn't received a financial aid offer from them yet. That's because they don't have their FAFSA information. But as soon as that FAFSA is filed, and that school is on the list, that FAFSA information gets sent over, and then the school, it goes through their financial aid office, and then they send you an offer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this meeting here should have taken place like a month ago then. Thank you.
Okay. So to the next step would be to invite a parent as a contributor. Um, and that will be, again, based on what we previously touched upon, depending on the marital status of of you guys. If you're married and filed jointly, one of you needs to be put on as the contributor. Okay, so basically it's through an email invite. You're gonna write whatever your email is or whomever they're emailing. Um, and hit send invite, and then you're gonna agree to that, and then whomever they put on there on the email, that person's going to get an invite. And you keep going forward, and at this time, you're gonna go over and review all of the responses. You'll see who it was invited as the contributor. And if all of that looks correct, after you can expand them all and take a look and make sure all of that is right. And if that looks correct to you, you're gonna keep moving forward and continue. Um, this is the sign and complete section page, so you're gonna review your information, and if all of that says correct, your son will click the box here to agree to the terms above, and then they are going to sign it. And at that point, your son's portion of this is complete. And then the next part would be to go on to the parent contributor part. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's move onward to the next part. Pardon me? Okay, let me go back to the other part. It should have. Victoria, did I miss anything or?
I don't believe so, but if anybody has any questions, we'll have time after.
I don't know why it didn't let me go. It's not letting me go forward.
Did you want me? No. Is it ready? It
Let's
could
see.
be eat after your shower. Email.
Did you go back to the slide where you could go select between the prototype for the student and the prototype for the parent?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back. It's not, before it would automatically, it's just set up. All right, let me-
Maybe fajitas?
Yeah.
Let me go back.
You smell it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, give me 1 second.
That's a basketball. Nothing. Have they said anything interesting? They didn't know.
Oh, I just want to know what I need to report. Like,
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
just 1 second.
are you even with me? That's you sure? Yeah, what? How many your cameras on? Oh, it's not. Yes, it is.
Okay, sorry, I'm with you again. Um, Okay. So can everybody see this?
Yep.
Okay, so now we're gonna go on to part two, which is the parent portion or the contributor part. Again, you're gonna go through the same process and create a logon yourself, but you're gonna have received an email, okay, from your son. So you're gonna click on that email. I think they got to create an account first, right, Victoria?
Yeah, so if you don't already have an account, it will prompt you to make one. And so if you already do have an account and your student's sending you an invite, make sure that they're using the email that you have on your FSA ID.
Right. So when you accept the invitation, when you receive the email that your son sent you to be their contributor, there's going to be an invitation code. on the email that you were sent. Okay, so then once you add that invitation, oh, why it's not doing it.
Oh, you click start. Did you want to?
Well, I was hoping when I clicked on the other one, it would go through again. I'm sorry.
You're good.
Yes, it's not. Just give me one sec. Sorry, it's being a little fickle. Just give me one second. Okay, I'm sorry. Victor, do you want me to talk about you want to talk about the contributor a little bit until I get into this?
Yeah. So the contributor part, so if you noticed in the student sections of a FAFSA, they had 5 sections. You as the parent will have 3. So first will be demographic information. So again, just purely research stuff, things like gender, race, stuff like that. And then it'll go on to financials. And so this is where the IRS data retrieval tool comes in. And now you may have to fill in some questions like asking if you have an earned income credit, if a student qualifies for free reduced lunch, stuff like that. What I would advise during this part is having a copy of your tax return. And also I want to mention, so the tax return you guys will be using for the 2026-27 FAFSA will be your 2024 tax return. Just want to make sure I tell you guys what year you're looking at. But I would have that at the ready because in the questions it asks you, it'll mention where you can find this on what lines in the form. And so that makes things super easy. And then after you fill out those questions, it will go on to the signature page, which just a few things to read, and then you click the checkbox, and then you submit, and your part's done. Any questions?
It's making me go through the form again real quick. I'm sorry. It's not being
Oh,
cooperative.
you're good. The prototype is a prototype for a reason.
Yeah.
Will you guys be available for like a side quick email later?
Yep, for
Okay.
sure.
Good.
Yeah, I can drop my email in the chat. So while I do work for Ferris, first and foremost, all of us recruiters are on the side of you and the students. So if you have any questions that aren't even specific to Ferris, you just need somebody to talk to about all this stuff, feel free to send me an email.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Who needs to fill out a FAFSA form?
So the reason why students fill out a FAFSA is to be considered for financial aid. Now, all schools will require that the student fill out the FAFSA, so that way they could offer their own scholarships that are based off financial aid. So like, for example, here at Ferris, we have merit scholarships, which a student gets just for applying and for us looking at their GPA. Those are based on GPA. But then we have other scholarships that are based on the student's financial need, but we won't know what their financial need is until we get the FAFSA information. So that would be my recommendation for why you should submit the FAFSA, as well as being able to be eligible for things like Pell Grant, TIP, free community college, things like that.
Okay, so it's more than just financial aid. more of like financial need. It's for the grants and all that as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Victoria, I have one question. So my husband and I filed jointly, and so I just want to ask probably a pretty basic, simple question. But since we filed jointly, both our incomes would be appreciated in terms of total income. But if we were married, filed singly, and say I was the contributor, is it just my income that is appreciated for that student's profile, or is my husband's also taken into account? So, it would be literally half the income of what we truly make. Does that make sense? I hope.
Yeah. So when you're married filing jointly, the reason why that option is put on there is because then, okay, so you guys file the tax form together. So all of your information is put on one form. So then only one parent needs to go and be invited as a contributor instead of both of you having your own accounts and putting in your information, because your information will be the same. Now, if you guys filed separately, that is when the student would need to invite you both, because you guys won't be sharing a form.
Okay, gotcha. But they'd still have to file invite to both of us.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question. If we have a current college student and then a De La Salle student and they invite us, does it carry over any of that information, or do we have to do the entire thing for both of them?
Yep, to the latter. You'll have to do it for both of them.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, I think I'm where we need to be. Okay, those were great questions. Does anybody have any other ones before we keep
Did
going?
you
And
already discuss timeline, deadline for the next year's?
I don't think we did discuss the deadline. It's always the end of June. So the form opens up in October, and then it closes in June of the following year. So the end of June in 2026 would be when this form is due.
Thank you.
Okay, so when you were sent the email, it'll have your name on it, and it'll have the code, and then you're going to accept the invitation. Logging in with the account you created. The invitation code will be there, and it'll be submit, and it'll say, by accepting this invitation, you agree to share your information. So you'll accept, and then again, it's going to go through similarly some of the videos that were there when your sons created their login accounts. So you can go through those. What to expect. There's a video on what it means to be a contributor and what consent means. And then again, these are all videos that I linked on the end of the of this presentation for you to be able to access and look back at later. So again, this is going to be this parent identity information is all the information that you submitted when you created your accounts. Again, you're looking at all of the information and making sure that it's all correct. And if it is, you keep moving forward. Again, this is the acknowledgement page that you read. It's the same one with your sons. And after you read it, if you're fine with it, you hit approve to keep moving forward. Again, they're going to import your information before they've confirmed you with the IRS, so you can move forward in doing it. Again, this is going to be similar questions like you answered previously with your sons. So you hit continue, current parent situation. We can say married, not separated, whatever category your situation fits. Okay, and then once you mark that, we hit continue. Parent state of residence, again, we're going to throw in Michigan. Date to the parent. And again, this is the parent that if you're married and filing jointly, this invitation goes to the one parent. So it's the information to the parent that it was sent. So your birth date. Okay. And then keep moving forward. And then here again, where it's going to talk about finances. And then you're going through and answering, again, a series of questions at any time during 24 or 25. Did the parent or anyone in the family receive benefits from the following federal programs? If you did, you'll select them. If not, you're going to hit none of these apply. Okay, and I'll kind of go slow through the list. If you've received anything from this list, you would check what applies. If not, hit none of these, and then you can move forward. Family size, is the parent's family size different from the number of individuals claimed on your taxes? If nothing changes and everything's the same, you would hit no. If you've had a change in your circumstance, you would say yes. And then hit continue. And then how many people in the parent's family will be in college from July 2026 to June 30th, 27? Again, if it's just if this is your first son, the first one, you're going to put one. If you have multiple children in college, you would put that number in that box, and then hit continue. And this is where you're going to have to refer to the taxes that you filed for 2024. IRA rollover into another IRA account or qualified plan. Again, I'm not sure what your information is, so for the intents and purpose, I'm just going to put zeros. Pension rollover to IRA or qualified plan, you'll put that number in. Amount of college grants, scholarships, or AmeriCorps benefits reported as income to the IRS. Okay, and again, it's going to tell you where to look for it on form, like for example, right here down here, 1098-T box 5. Or adjusted gross income. So it's going to let you know what box that you need to look at in order to fill this information out. And you would put whatever numbers on your taxes. And again, foreign income earned, again, it's an IRS form, your 1040, Schedule 1, line 8D. And then you would put whatever information is on there. Anything to add, Victoria? We good?
Nope, we're good.
Okay. So after you've answered those questions, again, it's helpful to have your tax returns by you to help you navigate that section. If this is pertinent to anyone, an annual child support received in the calendar year, you would put that figure in there. Current total of cash savings and checking accounts, remember, as of the day that you're filling out this form. You would put, again, just for, all intents and purpose, that's the money that you would have in your, like cash on hand, savings and checking accounts. Okay. Net worth of investments, including real estate, do not include the home the parent lives in. Net worth is the value of the investments minus any debts owed against them. Okay. So you would put that figure in there as well. And then current net worth of business and investment firms. Whatever that number would be, you would place it into there and then hit continue. Invite the parent spouse to this FAFSA form. A contributor is anyone who's required to provide information. This will help us gather a better understanding of the student's eligibility for federal financial aid. So when you hit continue, you're inviting Victoria, right, the other parent?
Yep. But if they're married filing jointly, they shouldn't have to answer any questions.
Right. And again, this with it being the prototype, it might be a little bit different. And then you would send the invite there. And then again, continue. This is a review of your responses. You have the drop downs. You can take a look and make sure all of your information is correct. If it is, we're going to go forward with continue. Here's your sign and complete your section, the summary page. And if everything looks good and you're comfortable with it, you're going to click your name and electronically sign it. And then pending submission, the parent section is complete.
And then after the parent has completed their section, I would advise that the student goes and logs into their FSA ID, double check that got submitted. It will be able to show them if it's been completed. And then the student should be able to, if their form hasn't already been submitted, but was depending on that section, then they'll be able to hit the submit button.
Right.
You'll know that the student will know that they have successfully submitted their form when they get an email back from Federal Student Aid saying, hey, thank you for submitting the FAFSA form. Here's what to do in the meantime. And then they should be getting that information. I think I've been seeing it come as quickly as like taking a week, but I would say wait from anywhere from a week to maybe a few weeks before maybe going and poking around and seeing what's occupying that time.
Right. And I think like Victoria had mentioned earlier, some colleges are going to move faster than others. I know like if if your sons have applied in like University of Michigan, Notre Dame, those are all going to come out. You probably won't see anything from them till January, February, simply because that's usually when those admissions letters, those acceptance letters come out. And I wanted to point to, if any of your sons have applied to Notre Dame or the University of Michigan, I know for sure those two schools are going to require a supplemental CCS profile. Has anybody heard of that, or anybody have had to fill that out? Okay. You'll know if you have to, because every time when your sons will receive an admission letter from a college, they're gonna receive an email to set up a student portal or an admissions portal from that college. And then if you log on to there, you'll see the checklist or what you need to review, and you'll see what's missing. If they have applied to Michigan and you didn't do the CCS profile, you're going to see that that's missing. And once you click on that, that CCS profile is done through College Board. And that, trust me, I just did it with my daughter, and that is a much longer, confusing process. I took it in steps, but if you were to sit down and Victoria, tell me if I'm wrong, it's at least a minimum of a 2 to 3 hour process to complete the CSS profile. It's
Yeah.
very intensive and it asks a million questions. So keep that in mind as well.
And one thing I do want to note, you don't have to sit for 2 to 3 hours in a row to get it all done in one setting. Just like with a FAFSA, there's the save and come back later option. So take it in steps if that's what you have the time for, and to preserve your mental health, because
Yeah. And again, remember that CSS profile is only submitted to the colleges that require it. It's not something you would submit to any other college that's not asking for it.
Gonna throw Ferris in here real quick. We do not require a
Right. Yes.
profile.
Most don't. Yeah. So it's basically the process and what you're going to see when you go, if you haven't yet applied for financial aid. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I do. So, going back to the parent contributor portion there, I had sat on one of these things about a year ago with a different organization altogether. And they were very specific to clarify that parent investments are not necessarily part of this equation. That it's more around the assets that the child has, and that a common mistake that parents make is to put in all of their investments and their net worth and that kind of stuff, and that was a mistake. So I just want to clarify that for this, you do need to put in all your net worth stuff, or you don't, because last year it was completely different.
What I will say is this information that you're reporting on your tax form.
Whether it's, when you talk about your investments that you have, on your in terms of retirement accounts or your savings that you may have, they were very clear about differentiating between what you own as a parent and what the child owns, in filling out this form. And from what I'm taking away from this meeting here is that everything you have saved in your life, you should put down on this form. And they were saying last year, don't do that at all. Because it's not your assets they're interested in knowing about. They're more interested in knowing about the assets of the child who's applying for this. So I'd like to
I do have
understand
a
more.
link I want to send you. It's a list of what to, so On the FAFSA website, they have a FAFSA questions page, and one of the links they have on there. So it addressed the question current net worth of businesses and farms, and it does have listed in bullet points what is included and what isn't included. So do you mind if I send that to you real quick?
No, great. That'd be great.
Yeah, because I think that will do a lot better job clarifying what exactly you need to report and what you don't.
Okay, good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Could you just place that in the chat, please?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Yeah.
Is a 529, would that be reported there in that parent section?
I believe that is, isn't it, Victoria, the 529?
I'm not seeing that. Let me finish typing this out real quick, okay?
Let me see if I can go look.
And it did not. Okay. Hold on. It's not showing as a clickable link. Okay, let's see if that fixes it. Okay, there we go. All right, so do you want to repeat the question again? Sorry, just one track mind at the moment there.
If the 529 plan is included in the parents' portion, and from what I can see, I believe it is.
Yeah. Does that also include the MET, Ms. Cardenas?
Yeah, 529 plan. I just want to double confirm. Yes, that is included as an asset.
Mm-hmm. And I would assume the other is as well. What did you say that was? MET?
The MET,
Michigan Education
the
Trust.
Yep, the Met, yes. Yes, that one is as well.
That's an asset of the kids or the parents, the 529?
The under the parents portion, on the parents when you're filling out the contributor portion. It would be.
So in that link I sent you guys, in the corner in the top left corner, where under federal student aid where it says FAFSA help, if you click on that, it takes you to the entire FAFSA most commonly asked questions, and it has them grouped by which section on the FAFSA. I find that that's a really great one to have bookmarked while you're working on your contributor form and while a student is working on their FAFSA form.
Any other things that you guys can think of? Any other questions? I know it seems like a lot and it could be an overwhelming process.
And if there's any questions that you guys can't think of right now but are more comfortable doing in a more private setting, go ahead and shoot either one of us an email. And I do email exchanges and Zoom calls with students and stuff. So help is here. All you gotta do is ask for it.
Yes, sure.
Are you going to provide a link for the recording?
Yes, we will. For sure.
Okay.
Yep.
I just want to say thank you so much. You guys have been so helpful. I wish you guys were around when my daughter was applying for colleges.
Oh, thank you. It's a process, and honestly, sometimes we need to look for answers too. But the process is so streamlined from years ago, um, that it is a pretty good quick process.
Yeah. Just speaking from some personal experience here. So I'm a first generation college student in my family, like literally the only person in my family. And so I had to learn all this the first time on my own as a senior in high school. And I wish I knew what I now know today
Yeah.
back then. So that's why I try my best to make sure that if anybody else is going through any similar situations, that I am there for you, because I definitely don't want anybody to be as clueless as what I was.
Yeah, and for me too, I have a senior in high school as well, so I'm kind of walking this path with you all as well. So again, if we can be of any help, I want to thank Victoria for coming on and helping me. Please feel free to email. And two, I just also want to, like, on a side note, your sons are amazing, and I actually today kind of broke down and kind of took a look at some of the data that we had. There's 111 boys in the senior class, and 72 of them have used the Common App, to where Mr. Solomon and I have helped them, which is amazing. And the figure is astounding. They have applied collectively to 719 colleges. Um, which is just amazing. And the list and the names and the places that they're applying to, and they're coming in and letting me know that they've been accepted here and accepted there. It's just been great. So you should be very proud of them. They're doing great things, and I look forward to see what their futures hold. So I just kind of wanted to throw that out there. They're pretty amazing.
Yeah, I only got to see them during my lunch visit last week, but they had wonderful questions when they came up to my table and asked, and they kept mentioning, what was his name? He's a senior. He's going into football. It was like King something,
Damian
right?
King, yeah, yep.
Yeah, so it's nice seeing such a tight-knit community of students just typing up their fellow classmate and like, yo, he's going to Ferris to play football. And I'm like, oh, I love how you all just know about each other.
Yeah, so it's been great. So, I guess with that, if there's not any more questions, I think we'll end for tonight, but please feel free to send me an email or send Victoria an email. And we are going to post the recording of this little webinar that we had for you to refer to at a different time. And if anybody has any questions they want to stick on, we'll hang out for a few minutes. But thank you all, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Yeah, thank you very much for tonight.
Yeah, very
Thank you.
informative.
Great, thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right, thanks,
Thank
guys.
you. I do have a question.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so it's kind of unique. I have a freshman at state this year.
Mhm.
And when I went through this process with him last year, we started it all properly. He began his account. He invited me, which he should have invited his father, but
Okay.
unfortunately. And then I dropped the ball and did not complete the process.
Yes.
And so he is currently at Michigan State, just rolling with it.
Mhm.
So now I know it's time for me to get real and have him start the process again, right? So he goes through it all again for next year's when he's a sophomore.
Yes.
And I should have him invite his father, obviously, because he's the breadwinner. So we'll go through that process with him. And then my student who's at De La Salle does the same thing, right? So then I'm kind of out of it in that since it has to be done every year over again, it's not like any of us needs to get a new account or anything like that. It's just going to track you each year, right?
Yeah, the process base simply just repeats itself, right? You're updating any of your information.
Yeah.
But yes, it'll just be a continuous process. Again, this goes through the end of
June.
So you'll do that process again for your sophomore, right? And they'll just kind of go through and apply for financial aid for the next academic year.
Okay, so it doesn't matter that I didn't finish the process last year. It's just now we're going to try it for next year and get on the train, right? Okay.
Yes.
And
And again,
I will
remember when you got to that one, or was that you, Victoria? Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I will say the more that they do it, like when they repeat it each year, the easier it does get. Now, I don't recommend doing this, but this is something I did because, again, first generation, my parents didn't know what to do, so I kind of took over. It got to the point where I think I was in my junior year of college. I just told them, hey, just email me a copy of your tax return and let me know your password for your account and stuff. I'll just do your stuff for you. So, I mean, if they really need to do that, it is possible, speaking from personal experience, but it is easier to maybe just take 10, 15 minutes each October and just be like, all right, let's sit down, get this done, send it in, and then you don't have to think about it for another year.
Darlin, I think you just hit the difference between sons and daughters because you're really, really, really amazing. If my son,
on top of it, yes.
Yeah, your daughter, right? I mean, it's so different between boys and girls. I'm learning because I was the go-getter like you and would have had this solved as a kid, everything ahead of time.
Yeah, because I know that because I talk to your sons every day. Got to push a little bit.
Yeah, I think I'm aware, but each year I help him with his FAFSA. So yeah, it's I totally understand.
I have a
Wonderful.
question that just popped up in my mind.
Yeah.
Would it be good to start in their junior year?
No. So the FAFSA, so if you'll notice, this FAFSA has a year attached to it each time. So if your student is a junior and the only FAFSA available at the time is 2026 to 2027, they're not going to be a college student in 2026 and 2027. They'll be a senior, so there's no point in them doing the FAFSA.
So there's no advantage of setting up their profile, going through the questions to get a
Setting
jump
up
on
their
it.
profile is a great thing to do.
Sounds good. Thank you.
But
Sorry,
going
we're
and starting
listening
a
to this
form,
thing. It's okay.
I would not do that until they are in their senior
I
year.
was just thinking, because it is kind of late because we already applied. And if we would have known, we would have started the process earlier. But I was just thinking
No, it's not late, right? I mean,
no, it's the form isn't due till June 30th, and
yeah, you're not late at all.
And
No,
something
but
I
you,
do
yeah.
For everyone, your student is on their own timeline. You as a family, you're all on your own timeline. I know it's really anxious, especially if it's your first student, or maybe you've had a big gap between two students and it's your first time doing this and you're seeing all these people that look like they have it more put together than what you do. Don't pay attention to them. Just focus on you and your students' needs and move at your guys' pace, because that's exactly what you should be doing. So don't stress about, it's November and I haven't filed it yet.
So
you are completely okay.
Just to add a point of context, I mean, the government had their act together this year and it opened up on October 1st.
Right.
But last year, it opened up on December 1st.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So don't fear that you're late. I mean, I would start the process now that you're a little bit more informed on what's involved. But again, you got to think last year students weren't even able to apply until December.
Okay.
I wouldn't worry that you feel that you're late.
If you qualify for money, you're getting it.
Correct.
You're gonna get it. So
yeah. And again, you know what I mean? And maybe we can do a little better job at getting the information out. But we did send emails to the boys, that it did go to their email account. Maybe perhaps we should include parents as well. But we did send that information out, right on October 1st saying that FAFSA was open. So, hopefully next year, and again, that's on me, it's on us, and we'll make sure that we fix that, moving forward.
You know that little video you showed? Could you link that little video you showed in the beginning? I want my husband to watch that.
Yes. Let me.
That was a good one. Thank you.
Yeah, it really is a good video. I thought it was really comprehensive in terms of,
Totally.
yeah.
Are we off on mute?
Nope. Go ahead.
Where do we find the link, Mrs. Cardenas? Is it emailed to us or texted to us? Or?
Mrs. Anderson was on the phone. I will email all of the parents and let them know where to find it. I believe it'll be on the counseling webpage.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Let me get my YouTube
I
video.
will say for any further research that you do into FAFSA, always first and foremost check with studentaid.gov because that is the website that runs FAFSA. That's where you go make your account and everything. And there's lots of other websites out there that are like, yeah, they'll have advice or like forums on Reddit and all that. I would say always check with the first verifiable source, which is studentaid.gov, and then check in with, financial aid offices, like say at your local community college, or maybe they have a first choice school that they're going to, and they have questions about financial aid specifically with that school, or like with me or with your counseling department at your school. Always go to those sources first before going out there in the wild because the internet is filled with lots of things.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw this video in the chat. The first one that I showed.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
There we go. You guys have
Are
been
the links
doing
still going to
great.
be available after the Zoom call ends?
That's a good
I've been copying them and
I know if I don't
and
get them
emailing them,
quick enough.
texting to me.
Because I know sometimes when the
yeah, when the link goes, you're right. When it goes, it goes.
Is there a specific link that you're wanting to save?
I'm just anything that we can get.
Yeah, you know what, Mr. Lonnie, I will send that to you. Mrs. Lonnie, are we still meeting tomorrow? I can also provide that for you then. I can give you those links.
Oh, yeah, that'd be perfect. I'll be by about 12:15, so
Yeah,
that would
perfect.
be wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, I can email. And if anybody needs them, if you lose them or didn't get them down, just email me and I will send them to you.
Thanks,
Okay.
everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Have a great night.
You too.
You too.
Oh.